We are hearing SRIMAD Bhagavatam. Now, Shukadev Goswami appeared, and they all gave him presidential seat. And Parikshit Maharaj surrendered unto him, and he said, simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of men are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. This we heard yesterday. Where there is sun, darkness cannot remain. Like that, when pure the devotion comes, then sinful activities cannot remain. Api me Bhagavan Pritah Krishnah Pandu Sutta Priya Paitri Shvaseya Priti Artham Tat Gotrasya Ta Bandava. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. Anyata te vyaktagater darshanam nahkatam nrinam nitaram mriyama nanam samsiddhasya vaniyasa. Otherwise, in brackets, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death? Because Parikshit Maharaj took shelter of Krishna, so Krishna then sends his own person to show the way how to come to Krishna. Here Sai Maharaj is telling, the great sage Shukadev Goswami was certainly inspired by Lord Krishna to appear voluntarily before Maharaj Parikshit, the great devotee of the Lord, just to give him the teachings of SRIMAD Bhagavatam. Like when our Gurudev was in Slovenia in 2002, then I took him to one apartment to rest before evening program. Then I expressed some sorrow to Gurudev that maybe today not so many people will come to the program. I thought, my thinking was that he should not be disappointed by undergoing so much, like traveling and like this, and then ultimately not so many people will show up. So I thought to let him know. Then Gurudev, because he's personal associate of Krishna, then he told me, why you are thinking about this? Why you are worried? Those who have Sukriti, they will come. Shukadev Goswami came for one person, sent by Krishna for one person. So Gurudev was also sent by Krishna and his Gurudev and Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj to go to Western countries to spread the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gurudev was doing his service to Krishna. That is the point. He's not interested in many people or something. He's interested in serving Krishna. So if only one will come, that is also my service can be done by Krishna, means for Krishna. Gurudev is interested in the service of Krishna. So he sent him and he told, Shukadev Goswami came because Parikshit Maharaj surrendered himself to Krishna. So Krishna sent me to help him. And our Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he was singing kirtans in front of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Murti in Mayapur, his Samadhi. Only one person, no listeners, no audience, but Prabhupada is listening. So they are interested in the service, not of some worldly name and fame. I have so many followers, so many people came, I'm very famous preacher like this. No, they're interested in the service of Krishna, to do kirtan bhakti. So here also Sai Maharaj is telling, one can achieve the nucleus of the devotional service of the Lord by the mercy of the spiritual master and the personality of Godhead. Nucleus. I don't know what is this word, but I know the point. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. When Jiva wanders throughout all these 14 planetary systems by his karma and in so many different species, sometimes enjoying, sometimes suffering, sometimes king, sometimes beggar, sometimes demigod, sometimes animal, all this. Then by some good fortune, means when he accumulates enough Sukriti, then by the grace of Krishna, he will meet bona fide Guru. And bona fide Guru will give him the seed of devotional service. Starting point. Nucleus here in Slovenian language means jedro, but in English, one second. Nucleus, how it will be in English. So we get that nucleus of devotional service of the Lord by the mercy of the spiritual master and the personality of Godhead. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. Nucleus. The central and most important part of an object, movement, or group, forming the basis for its activity and growth. Yes. That is like seed, basis for activity and growth. So we get that seed of devotional service. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. That we have to understand very clearly. Because Krishna is spiritual master. Acharjo Mam Bijanyat. He authorizes, empowers surrendered devotee, then he can give mercy to others as a representative of Krishna. But if we are not authorized by Krishna, then we may fake, we may pretend like we are gurus, we give initiation for money and for name and fame, but that will not be real devotional seed. Cannot have. Srila Shukadev Goswami is an authorized spiritual master And thus he was inspired by the Lord to appear before Maharaj Parikshit and instruct him in the teachings of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, like our Gurudev. He, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj told him, yes, you have to go. It is your duty. You have to tell about the teaching of Mahaprabhu everywhere. Because it is the desire of Mahaprabhu that this teaching should be preached all over the world. So, how they may accept or not accept those teachings, that is not your business. Your business is, your duty is to serve Mahaprabhu, to spread this message. And then he told him, but there are some who will accept Harinam, this chanting. So why you want to deprive them? So Gurudev fully surrendered to Krishna and Guru and Vaishnava. He went to do his service. So he was not worried whether 200 people will come or 1,000 or 5 or 1 or no one, because he has to do his service to Krishna. So Gurudev told me that time, Shukadev Goswami came for one person only. And you will find in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that Brahmin from Assam, ultimately he came to Vrindavan and he was instructed by Gopakumar, and at the end Gopakumar told him that actually today Radharani told me that one devotee is coming, my devotee is coming to Vrindavan, so you should go and meet him and help him. So Gopakumar said, then I came to meet you. So everything is arranged like that. They are being sent. And those who are fortunate, they will get association of pure devotee. One can achieve the ultimate success of going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord sending his true representative. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee for going back to Godhead just after leaving the present body. If you follow the instructions of Guru. This, however, is further Sai Maharaj is telling, this, however, depends on the sincerity of the devotee himself. The Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus he knows very well the movements of all individual persons. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends his bona fide representative. The sincere devotee is thus assured by the Lord of going back to Godhead. The conclusion is that to get the assistance and help of a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord himself. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Bhaktagana. In the form of Guru, Krishna graces a devotee. So here our Gurudev repeatedly said this point from Gita. Nahi kalyan krit kaschit durgatim tata gachati. When one is sincere soul, means really he wants kalyan, eternal welfare. Krishna is inside his heart. He knows, he really wants. So Krishna will make that arrangement that he will send him bona fide Guru. So that person will not be deceived, because he is not deceiver. If you want something else, then you will be cheated because you are cheater. But if you are sincere for getting eternal welfare for the service of Krishna, then Krishna will send you his devotee who will engage you in the service of Krishna. So the main point is not in our intellectually trying to understand who is bona fide guru, who is high, low, all these things. The main importance is Krishna is seeing our heart. So according to what we desire, accordingly he will give. So here Swami Maharaj is telling, the Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus he knows very well the movements of the individual persons. We cannot deceive Supreme Lord. He's inside our heart. He knows everything, what we are thinking, what we want. So we cannot blame anyone. We don't want. So, but as soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends his bona fide representative. A sincere devotee is thus assured by the Lord of going back to Godhead. Atah prichami samsidim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yat karjam mriya manasya sarvata. You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die. So this is an example, perfect, how one should surrender to bona fide Guru and inquire from him humbly, not with the mood of let me see what he will say, then I can check, or I can argue back, or compare, or like this. No. That is not surrender. When you can understand that you don't know and that he knows, then you have to surrender and hear from him what he says. If you have vanity, I know, then what is the use? Guru will also not be inspired to speak to such a person who already thinks he knows everything. So what is the use? But when sincere surrender is there, then we can get actual help. It has to be beyond us, above us. We are dependent. So when we surrender, then we can receive it. Yat shrotavyam ato japyam yat kartavyam nribih prabho smartavyam bhajanyam va bruhiyat va viparyayam. Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me. So you see, we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking the teaching of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. So Guru, bona fide Guru, one who is a servant of Krishna, he wants to serve Krishna, it is his duty. Yat kartavyam, what one has to do. Kartavyam means what has to be done. And viparyayam, what is contrary to that. So you will find some so-called gurus, pseudo-gurus, who are interested in worldly benefits. So they will not explain about four regulative principles to aspirants, because they know then they will not be inclined to accept me as a guru. They may eat whatever they like, all these things, no problem. So that is not bona fide guru. We have to do what is pleasing to Krishna and give up that which is displeasing to Krishna. Otherwise, how we can say we are practicing devotion to Krishna if we don't give up those activities which are displeasing to Krishna? So, bhajaniyam, what it may be pariyam, against devotion, also you have to explain to me. That is real inquiry, because that will satisfy. If I'm interested to satisfy Krishna, then I will act according to his wish and will not do those activities which are displeasing, offenses, and these sinful activities and all this. It is Guru's duty to explain this. And by his own example has to follow, and he has to teach this to disciple. And if disciple wants to progress in devotion to Krishna, then he will have to follow this. It is not a joke only. It is in Shastra. Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Griheshu Griha Medinam Nalakshyate hi avasthanam apigo dohanam kvachit. O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. Yes. Here in commentary, saints and sages in the renounced order of life go to the houses of the householders at the time they milk the cows, early in the morning, and ask some quantity of milk for subsistence. A pound of milk fresh from the milk bag of a cow is sufficient to feed an adult with all vitamin values, and therefore saints and sages live only on milk. Even the poorest of the householders keep at least 10 cows, each delivering 12 to 20 quarts of milk, and therefore no one hesitates to spare a few pounds of milk for the mendicants. That is more possible in other yugas, in Kali Yuga, but principle is there that a householder will have enough to give something to mendicants. And mendicants, they are already so much in bhajan that their bodily necessities are very small. So there is no problem for one or another. It is the duty of a householders to maintain the saints and sages like the children. So a saint like Shukadev Goswami would hardly stay at the house of a householder for more than 5 minutes in the morning. In other words, such saints are very rarely seen in houses of householders, and Maharaj Parikshit therefore prayed to him to instruct him as soon as possible. The householders also should be intelligent enough to get some transcendental information from visiting sages. Not only we will cook and give place to sleep like a hotel. No. The point is you have to hear. That is seva to sadhu. You have to hear what he's speaking about Krishna and inspiring devotion, and then we have to do. Then that will be full seva to sadhu. But you will find someone like only they give money, but they don't give their ear. Like Narad Goswami, when he was the queen. Sadhu came, but she said, no, I have no time. You can take money and go, but I have no time to hear about Krishna and this. So that is not actually service to sadhu. We have to hear about Krishna and engage ourselves in the service of Krishna, then sadhu will be served. The householder also should be intelligent enough to get some transcendental information from visiting sages. The householder should not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what is available in the market. For worldly things, no. They're not coming for that purpose. They're coming to give us information about spiritual world and about why we are suffering, who we are, to whom we belong. All this information they realized and they have, and they want to rescue us. That should be the reciprocal relation between the saints and the householders. Sutta Uvach. Evam abhashitah prishtah saragya shlakshnaya gira pratyabhashata dharmagyo bhagavan vadaraya nih. Sri Sutta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage, using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply. So here, and first canto of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, this was all foundation. So that now actually Bhagavatam will start. What Shukadeva Goswami will reply. So I have books there. Tomorrow I will bring. So today I will read from internet. Just let me open. Second canto. Chapter 1. I have to open. Yes. First step in God realization. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. This was invocation. Now, first verse is in second canto. Shri Shuka Uvach. Varyan eshate prashnah krito loka hitam nripa atmavit samatah pungshang shrota vyadishu yah parah. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. Answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. Prime subject matter for hearing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Raghunath Das Goswami, ভালো না খাইবে আর ভালো না পড়িবে, গ্রাম্য কথা না শুনিবে কানে, গ্রাম্য কানে না কহিবে. Raghunath Das Goswami, you should not hear about village talk, means this worldly gramya kata, and you should not speak that. That is waste of time. Who married whom, who is divorced whom, what is all these things. This is not, we like to hear and speak whole night if necessary. If someone will say, you have to hear Bhagavatam, we will say, no, I cannot hear. I'm too much sleepy. I cannot chant. I cannot, no time. I'm too much tired. But if there is some worldly topics, then we immediately become alive, and the whole night we can gossip if necessary, with great enthusiasm, but no desire to hear about Supreme Lord. But here, Shukadeva Goswami is telling, your question is very good, because these topics are to be prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. Shrota Vyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrasha Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Griha Medinam. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. Political, scientific, social, economic, and so on. But due to a poor fund of knowledge, they set aside the question of the ultimate miseries of life, namely miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Factually, the human life is meant for making an ultimate solution to birth, death, old age, and disease. But the Griha Medis, being illusioned by material nature, forget everything about self-realization. So they are hearing all these things. Politics. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena chavaya diva charte haya rajan kutumba bharanena va. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. But no time for Harikatha, or for the service of Krishna, no time. Like the General Goering in Second World War, he was a right-hand man of Hitler. So he recruited into army people, and he divided them into 4 categories: industrial and stupid, industrial and clever, and stupid and industrial, and clever and industrial, or lazy and clever. 4. Again, I'm telling because I said it in confusing way. Clever and industrial, clever and lazy, stupid and industrious, and stupid and lazy. So Goering told, I take into army clever and industrious and clever and lazy, and I make clever and lazy chief commander, because it is not in our interest to always fight. So under strain, necessity, he will start fighting. But the one who is clever and industrious, he will all the time want to fight, but it is not in our interest. So I give clever and lazy chief. And also I accept stupid and lazy. Then the question is there. He has one less quality than stupid and industrious. Yes. I take stupid and lazy because he will not do so much harm. He may do little harm because he's lazy. So in order to solve unemployment problem, I take them also. But I don't take stupid and industrious, because always they will do wrong things. So our Gurudev said, to whom, which group do we belong? We are so busy, all the time busy, industrious, all the time busy, but for what? Only for this material sense enjoyment, which is foolishness. We are stupid because we don't know who really we are. And very much industrious, only working day and night for this only, for sense enjoyment. So that is. But one who is intelligent, he will know, I am related to Krishna. It is my duty to serve him. So he will find time to serve Krishna. He will hear about him, chant, and remember and worship all these things. So here, yes, they waste their valuable human life by sleeping and sex indulgence at night, and by laboring hard in the daytime to accumulate wealth, and after doing so, they try to improve the standard of materialistic life. The materialistic way of life is described herein in a nutshell, and how foolishly men waste the boon of human life is described as follows. Next verse. Deha patya kalatradishu atma sanyeshu asatsu api tesham pramato nidhanam pashyan api na pashyati. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. Only think about earning and sense enjoyment, nothing else. They know this is all temporary, but still so attached that they don't see anything else and only work for this. Yes, here in commentary, the material world is called the world of death, means Mrityu Loka. Every living being beginning from Brahma, whose duration of life is so much, down to the Jarams who live for a few seconds only, is struggling for existence. Yes. Persons who are devoid of the knowledge of Atma Tattva are misguided. But those who are devotees of the Lord and have perfect realization of transcendental knowledge are not bewildered. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shrotabhya Kirtitabhyascha Smartabhyasche Cha Tabhayam. This is very famous verse. This is the basis of Vaidhi Bhakti. You will find in Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One is Vaidhi Bhakti, one is Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi means you don't have natural love for Krishna aroused in your heart. So, like no natural liking. But Shastra and Guru, they will inspire you by reasoning and by scriptural injunction that why it is good that you should serve Krishna. So being inspired by that, that is called Vaidhi Bhakti. But when following Vaidhi Bhakti and purifying your heart and that natural love for Krishna will be awakened, then that stimulus is not necessary anymore, because your taste will guide you. Transcendental taste will inspire you. Then you can enter into Raga Marga. Vidhi Marga Ratta Jane Sadhinata Ratna Dane Raga Marge Korano Pravesh. Bhaktivinoda Thakur told in song. So here Shukadeva Goswami is saying, O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. So here you see, this is Bhagavan. Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari. He is supreme controller of everything. So here, impetus is this. But in Raga Marg, it is by the grace of Brajavasi, you will feel Krishna is my friend. So you will love him because he is your friend, or as son, or as beloved, or like this. So that inspiration is of different type, but that is superior type, and we have to gradually attain that. But in the beginning, when we are still full of anarthas and aparadas and all this, we have to be guided by Shastra and bona fide Guru. They will say this. This is meant for us. The one who desires to be free from all miseries, he must. Here is Shrotavya Kirtitabhya, means it is your duty to hear about him, chant, remember, and you know he is the super soul, he is God. He is controller of everything, and he can rescue us from all miseries. Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janma Labha Param Pungsham Ante Narayana Smriti. Yes. The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, that is Sankhya Yoga, by practice of mystic powers, that is Ashtanga Yoga, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, that is Karma Yoga. The perfection is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. This is the purpose of all sadhana, to get remembrance of Krishna at the time of death. But this can happen only if you will practice this before. You have to practice service of Krishna your whole life, whole time. Then also at the time of death you can remember him. So we should not think, let me enjoy now, and later when I will die I will just little remember Krishna. It cannot happen like that. All those thoughts and everything will come in your mind. You cannot control. So we have to get this constant remembrance of Krishna before we die. We have to come at least to Nishta stage, where you are in your real self and tolerant and no desire for respect and giving due respect, and always chanting or always engaged in the service of Krishna. Whatever you are doing whole day, that is all meant for service of Krishna. So if we are well established in that, then also at the time of death it can happen, and if we think of Krishna, then we will go to him. Otherwise, if so many other desires are there and attachments, then we'll have to take birth again and all miseries and all this. So, ante Narayana Smriti. This is the point. You have to remember Narayana at the time of death, or ante Narayana Smriti. It is the purpose of all these practices to achieve remembrance of Krishna, Krishna consciousness. Prayena munayo rajan nivrita vidhi shedata nairgunya staramantesma gunanu kathane hare. O King Parikshit, mainly the topmost transcendentalists who are above the regulative principles and restrictions take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Nivrita Vidhi Nisheda, that is, of Varna Ashram and also Vaidhi Bhakti. So they are already, here Sai Maharaj telling, they accomplished that course and they are already on liberated platform. So for them this does not apply. They will naturally follow. But their main activity will be Gunanu Kathane Hare. They will always chant about Krishna and remember him all the time. They will do. Take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Yes, here Sai Maharaj, he's explaining very simple way. The topmost transcendentalist is a liberated soul and is therefore not within the purview of regulative principles. Because already he has ruchi, so by taste he is doing everything. But we have no such taste, so we have to be guided by regulative principles. A neophyte who is intended to be promoted to the spiritual plane is guided by the spiritual master under regulative principles. He may be compared to a patient who is treated by various restrictions under medical jurisdiction. Nowadays, this allopathic, they don't give much importance on diet. They just will give those tablets, some chemistry, they think they will give, that is all. But it is not sufficient. The main problem in health is wrong diet. So in Ayurveda, there is a complete science of this about diet. Then other medicines are like this. Then you can be cured. But it is like allopathic, it is same. They are making money, so they are not actually interested to tell to people about healthy lifestyle like this. Then their business will be lost. And also they don't know and don't want to say such things. Then patients will become angry. Why you are restricting me? So, but because we don't know what is beneficial for us. Only we think about immediate sense pleasure, that is preomark. Everything else is my enemy. Any kind of restriction or that is enemy. Because they don't understand about the consequences. But one who really wants to do good, he will tell him, this is bad for you. The consequence will be bad. But that person cannot understand. He's only interested in immediate pleasure, without thinking of consequence. So here, medical jurisdiction. Generally, liberated souls also take pleasure in describing the transcendental activities. Yes. They take pleasure in the discussion of the transcendental qualities of the Lord's pastimes. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Aditavan Dva Parado Pitur Dvaipayanat Aham. At the end of the Dwapar Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named SRIMAD Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father, Srila Dvaipayan Vyasadeva. Because you will find there in Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. So here, Puranam Brahma Samitam. It is same. Bhagavatam is the commentary to Vedanta Sutra. Brahma means Supreme Lord. Now he will describe that we'll hear tomorrow.